Hey everybody, it's Mike. I hope you all had a great Christmas and are enjoying some time off with friends and family for the holidays and are just getting a little bit of a break in there. It's always busy, so it's nice to have some downtime. So what I did today, I headed into Toronto and went record shopping. We went to the Art Gallery of Ontario, which is always good. My daughter's 11, and my wife and I always think it's important to expose her to the arts and see things that are, not just on Netflix and things like that. So the Art Gallery of Ontario is a great place to visit if you get the chance. If you're into that sort of thing, it's got Picasso and Emily Carr and a lot of the Group of Seven, which are really the artists that put Canada on the map, and some other great pieces by Rembrandt and Monet and world-class art just sitting there for you to check out. So we did that, and while they went shopping on Queen Street West, I hit up a couple of record stores and I actually found some really cool Grail pieces I've been looking for a long time. So tell you about that today. Stay tuned. So it's always fun to visit Queen Street West. It used to be a lot more funkier than it is now, but now it's kind of gotten a little more trendier, and the shops are a bit more generic, I guess, than they used to be. But that's happening everywhere, and it's hard to find things now that aren't just the same all over. But there is still a bit of that unique old Toronto neighborhood there, and of course, Queen Street West is where Much Music used to be, and for my Canadian viewers, you'll know all about that. But if you aren't from Canada, that was basically our MTV, and its headquarters was right downtown Toronto on Queen Street. And so this is the building that all of that took place in, and lots of live performances and interviews, and it was the home of the Canadian music scene for a long time. So that building still exists, but is not Much Music anymore, obviously. But it's still there, so it's kind of cool to see that. There's a lot of cool shops and sort of old Toronto still sitting around there. There's a club down the street called the Horseshoe Tavern, which is a really, really famous place. I actually did a gig there in 2019. And it was just one of those places that is legendary in Canada for some of the acts that have walked through those doors and played. So pretty cool spot, and the street was fairly busy with lots of sort of bargain hunters for after Christmas and things like that. And I decided to check out Cops Records, and Cops is a they have two stores. They have one in Toronto and one in Oshawa, Ontario, and they're hit and miss. If you're looking for a bargain, you don't always find that there, but I do find anytime I've been in there, there tends to be some stuff that you don't see all the time, and things that are a little more rarer, I guess. But nothing can touch my local shop, Zap Records. Big shout out to those guys, because they know what they're doing, and it feels like a record shop. Cops is okay. Feels a bit, maybe a little bit too polished for me and my liking. But if you like a good old record store with knowledgeable people, please check out Zap Records in Cobourg, because they are the real deal. So anyway, let me show you what I picked up. So my list for want list for records anyway is it's kind of getting shorter and shorter, and things that I'm looking for sometimes I don't know when I'm ever going to come across it, but this was actually one that I'd like to find. This is the cover of the Vertigo pressing that Lighthouse did. And this is actually a greatest hits, though, and so this is a cool compilation, and I love the artwork, the cover, because it's that British pressing, and it has the kind of the whole UK vibe to it. But this is a greatest hits, and it was on GRT in Canada. I don't know if this came out in the States or not, but that is one I have been looking for quite a while. I've never seen it, so I was happy to pick that up. Another cheap record that was on my list. This has been on my list for, I don't know, I'm going to say 20 years, a long time. I've never been able to find it. I don't even think it's that rare a record. I'm not even sure it's that good a record, but it's become one of these ones that I have to find. And this is NRBQ live at Yankee Stadium. And this is one that I've been searching for ever and ever and ever, and I've never seen it. So I was really happy to come across that one. That is on Mercury. And looking forward to hearing that, because it's been a long time that I've been trying to track that one down. That one is a little bit harder to find for some reason for me. Okay, and then I got 3 more records. These are the pricier, more expensive records, and I think pretty rare and hard to find records as well. I used to own a rock and roll museum, and a long time ago, and a fella used to come in that was in a band out of Toronto, and they were signed to Capitol Records, and they were called the Big Town Boys. And he would have great stories about, just being on the same label as the Beatles, and things they used to get invited to. And I don't know really the complete history of the band, but I've been looking for their album for an awfully long time. And I actually found it today. And this is one I have been trying to track down forever and ever and ever. And this is on the Capitol Rainbow label. And it's a gatefold. And it's got some pictures and stuff inside. But this one has been on my list forever and ever. So this is a good score for me. The fella that used to come in, he has a great story about meeting Jimi Hendrix on a balcony in out of a loft apartment in New York City, and just hanging out on a balcony with Jimi Hendrix. So pretty cool. And they were, right in there for a short time in the 60s, Canadian band that a lot of people haven't heard of before, but I was pretty happy to find that. So that's the Big Town Boys. That's the first one I found. And now the second one I found is a pretty obscure record as well. This is the Attila record. And for those of you who know what this is, you'll kind of know why this has any significance. It's actually not a bad record, but this fella here is Billy Joel. And this was his first band before going solo. And it's kind of got a hard rock, prog sort of vibe to it. It's interesting anyway, and I have never seen that in the wild, and I thought I never would. So I was really happy to find that, and that is on Epic, and I'm pretty pumped to have found that. So that was another one that was a rare, kind of obscure one to track down. And the last one I found today is one, I had a Japanese copy of this years ago, and I sold it because I thought I'd like to find a UK pressing, and today was the day I finally did. And this is the Cheerful Insanity of Giles and Fripp. Of course, Robert Fripp of King Crimson right there, on Duram. And this is a UK pressing. This album came out in '68. I think this is a '75 UK pressing. But I have been looking for that record for ages and ages and ages. So I was really happy to find that one, and it's in great shape. The label's in really nice shape too. It looks like it's barely been played. So really happy to find that one in the wild, and to find all of these actually in a record shop instead of online is really pretty cool. I really try to find stuff in person if I can, and it's not always easy. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you're a big fan of rock and roll and you like records, guitars, and stories about rock and roll, be sure to give us a like and subscribe, and ring that bell. It helps us to grow the channel and keep more stuff coming. Thanks a lot. So there you go. That's a brief little look at some of the albums I picked up today in Toronto. And I hope you got some records for Christmas, or you're able to find something too this week. It's always fun to go shopping. And there was a big sale on today, so all this was 25% off, which was pretty good as well. And just stuff that I had not come across in a long time. So I was pretty happy to find that. And just to go and be in the city is kind of fun. And Queen Street West, as they say, it's a good time. A good time to kind of check out guitar stores. I checked out Steve's Music which is, I think they have a store in Toronto and one in Montreal. And besides Long and McQuaid in Canada, that's really the only guitar store. And as you know, for guitar stores and music stores, record stores, it's getting harder and harder to find those independently owned places and things that aren't some sort of conglomerate or big box or things like that. So it's nice to be able to support small time places, and even if it's in a city. And find independently owned shops if you can anymore, and help those guys out, because they're really the knowledgeable people that keep things going. And if you're a collector, they're the people that you want to seek out and find. So that was really good today, and had a good time looking around. So I hope you have as well. I'm going to release a video next week with my top pickups of the year, and I'm glad I held off, because some of these will be in it for sure, because these are definitely some Grail items for me. And they're just some albums you don't see every day when you're out searching. So let me know in the comments what some of your favorite pickups of this year will be, and I'll get that other video out hopefully sometime next week. It's kind of a busy time of year. I hope you're getting some time to relax and listen to some tunes and just hang out with friends and family. That's what it's all about. We'll see you next week. Keep on collecting. Stay tuned for some more.